And today we are actually talking about a problem that can have devastating emotional consequences, and it's much more common than you might think. We're talking about women and hair loss today. You know, women and their hair have a very tight relationship, as many of us know, and losing it can have far-reaching consequences for how they feel and perceive themselves. So today, we're going to take a look at the root of the problem, no pun intended, the causes, and more importantly, the potential solutions. Now, chances are, if you're not dealing with this, someone you know is. And a lot of our viewers, in fact, are. Here's what some of them had to say. Over 80 million Americans are dealing with hair loss. And while we tend to associate this problem with men, women actually make up over 40% of them. Half of all women will encounter some hair loss by the age of 50. And by 75, 3 out of 4 women have lost some of their hair. From thinning to balding to drains and brushes full of what's been falling out. They're left asking, am I losing it? And how do I get it back? So here to help answer that is women's health contributor, Dr. Keri Peterson, and celebrity hairstylist and author of You Are Beautiful, a beauty guide for real women, Keri Peterson. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So happy to have you both here. Well, I know that some hair loss every day is normal. What is normal, Keri?
So you can lose up to 100 hairs a day, which is a good amount, but we have 100,000 on our head, so it's not going to be visibly noticeable on our scalp. But if you see 100 hairs in the drain, that's going to raise attention. And I have patients that will bring me bags of their hair.
Meanwhile, Ken, I know that more and more women are coming to your salon concerned about hair loss. What do you think is going on?
There's so much in the media of women with all this lustrous hair on the red carpet. So women are really overstyling their hair today. They're really trying to achieve those different looks. They're fighting their hair. They're coloring it now more than ever. So much of what's happening is also related to styling abuse and chemical process.
Now, there are a number of reasons this is happening, and we're going to go through them and talk about the causes and then talk about some solutions. And Keri, I know that one reason is lack of protein. And I know this from personal experience because my daughter's a vegetarian, and when she became a vegetarian, she started losing her hair.
And basically, when the body doesn't get enough protein, it starts to ration it to where the body really needs it and shuts down your own hair growth. And vegetarians and also women with eating disorders, you'll see that in as well.
All right, so what are the solutions, Keri? I guess you can, through certain foods, up your protein, right?
So I have some suggestions both for non-vegetarians and vegetarians. Just starting with salmon, this is a fantastic source of protein, but it also contains omega-3s and iron, which are also very good for hair growth. Also, we have beans here. Beans are a great source of protein for vegetarians like your daughter, but they also have a lot of the minerals and vitamins that we want for hair growth. Iron, zinc, and biotin in particular. Another thing I recommend, Brazil nuts are great for hair. Brazil nuts are high in zinc, and they're also high in selenium, which is good for scalp, and they have protein too. And then lastly, eggs are phenomenal for hair. They not only contain protein, a very rich source, but they also have biotin, which is great for hair.
Okay, and what about the salon tricks? Because I know you can ingest protein and you can actually put protein on your hair as well.
You can add protein to your hair topically. You know, the whole idea of protein is really to strengthen the hair so it doesn't break and become thinner. And by doing that, we use great products. There's some amazing products on the market that are strictly to enforce protein in the hair, make it stronger, rebuild the cuticle of the hair. I recommend, you know, sulfate-free shampoo line or conditioner as well, sulfate-free regimen, because it doesn't break the hair down. But outside of that, there are great things that you can do on your hair. You can use apple cider vinegar as a rinse afterwards. And what that does, it closes the outermost layer of the hair, the cuticle, and that actually makes the hair stronger for when you style it.
Do you rinse it out?
You rinse it out,
Oh, because I was going to say
you don't want to smell I know. I'm actually wearing it now. And one of the other things you can do that's really great at home, you can actually whip an egg and use egg on your hair as well. And that's actually going to strengthen the protein from the outside in.
Interesting. Okay, let's go to the next table, because I know another reason for hair loss is that women are over-styling their hair. They're doing too much to it.
Well, what's happening, all of these products, and as we saw in the images, women are really trying to look up and live up to those standards. So when you're putting heat, a lot of times 450 degrees of heat, you're really just burning and frying the hair. You're using curling irons, flat irons. What I like to recommend for all women is to work off of their natural texture on air-dried hair. If you let your hair air dry, I like to use a thermal setting spray to protect the hair. and then heat style your hair after that without blow drying it.
All right, there's some medical things you can do too if you're over treating, over styling, over processing your hair, right?
There is, and as Ken mentioned, the things that he mentioned can break the hair. They don't take it out from the root. But one thing that can remove the hair from the root is if you're wearing it pulled back tightly, if it's in a tight ponytail, or if you have cornrows or weaves, that can damage the hair follicle and cause permanent hair loss.
In fact, it's called something, isn't it?
It's called traction alopecia. Traction just because it's putting tension on the root and damages it and pulls that hair out. So for cases like this, loosen up your hairstyle, and this is when I may recommend using a supplement in addition to some of the foods we talked about. Certain supplements like iron and zinc and biotin can help improve hair growth.
And what is the salon sort of solution for this?
One thing we teach in the salon is wash your hair maybe 2 to 3 times a week at the most. That allows your natural oils to get on the hair and actually strengthen it so
Some
it can
people
deal
can't
with the abuse.
stand that though. They have to wash their hair
But they
every
can
day.
rinse it. If you rinse your hair, here's the thing I do for fine hair. Wash your hair when you have fine hair, just the roots. Don't wash the mid-shaft out. As you said, it's already compromised. Wash just the roots, condition from the mid-shaft out so that it doesn't get heavy. But then you can rinse it with just tepid water instead of shampooing, and then condition for that clean smell.
And sometimes a really nice brush is a good investment, don't you think? Because I use really crummy brushes, and I don't think those are good for your hair.
No, it's a great investment, and you know this as well. When you use a mixed bristle brush like this, it goes through the hair, but then these bristles that are a bit higher here actually address the scalp and stimulate the scalp and produce more oil to actually hydrate the hair and condition it.
Let's talk about something that a lot of women experience and causes hair loss: stress.
Yes, your hair has a life cycle. So it goes in the growing phase for about 2 to 6 years. Then it has a resting phase, and then it has a shedding phase. When you experience extreme physical or emotional stress, it's going to push those hair strands into the shedding phase and cause it to fall out. It is temporary. The good news is there is new hair that will replace that follicle.
Right, and so you recommend, you know, doing anti-stress things. So candles, yoga.
Can't emphasize that enough. Exercise if you can, if it's not a physical stress. And baths are great with bath salts here, another great way to relax. And I think it also is important to bring up the point there are some medical conditions that can also cause hair loss that can be temporary.
Right, well, obviously things like chemotherapy, right?
Right, that can be temporary because it again pushes that hair to the shedding phase, so you lose it very, very quickly. Also an underactive thyroid and anemia, both can cause hair loss, but if the condition's treated, then you can grow it back.
All right, and meanwhile, Ken, our viewer, Kim Trinity, is here. Hi, Kim.
Hi.
How are you? And you're going to basically show us the salon trick to deal with hair loss caused by stress.
Absolutely. This is a salon trick, but also something I actually do on every one of my red carpet clients. And this powder is used to cover grays. But take a look. What I like to actually use this for is to actually fill in the hairline. I'll go just behind the natural hairline and just begin to fill this in. And this is a really great way to temporarily fix that so that you feel more confident. It looks more finished, more polished, and then again, thicker and fuller. Take a look at the difference.
Yeah, wow.
So you can
That's
see
amazing.
her hair. Amazing,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Side to
very
side.
nice. Wow.
And what exactly, and it is
That is a big difference.
And what I love about this is most women, I actually used it on one of the other ladies backstage, most women get really insecure around that hairline. But the moment you bring the hairline down, it makes a woman look 10 years younger. So your hair's gonna look fuller and you're also gonna look younger.
Okay, Kim, thank you so much. And finally, we've got hereditary reasons that people have hair loss issues.
Yes, women can have premature hair loss. It's called androgenetic alopecia, and it's essentially the female version of male pattern balding, but we tend to thin a little differently than men. Men will tend to lose in the upper temples and recede, whereas women who have androgenetic alopecia will lose across the top, so their part becomes thinner and wider. So there's 3 solutions if you're suffering from this. The first is something like minoxidil. It's a topical solution you put on twice a day, and it will revitalize the hair follicle in about 44 to 63% of women. And I do recommend this. Another option, which is a pill that you take, it's called spironolactone. Now, it's a blood pressure pill, but it also has a property where it blocks androgens, and these are the male hormones that women make that can stimulate hair loss, and you can take that once a day as well. And then lastly, many people may not think of this for women, but women can get hair transplants as well, not just men.
Meanwhile, there's some salon solution as well. We have 2 of our viewers, Sherry and Atana. Hi, ladies. Ken is going to basically demonstrate on how you can help with, I guess, hair pieces,
absolutely.
right?
So there are temporary things that you can do in the salon. You know, clip-in extensions have become so popular. We're changing people's looks all the time on the red carpet. So what I did with Kim's hair actually here is I increased that weight at the bottom of her hair. You can see before.
Look at, wow.
Now that's a result of overwashing and overheat styling, so the ends of her hair are compromised. But look at now all the thickness and the fullness in through here created just by the clip-in extension.
Wow.
Very easy to do. Just clipped in just at the hairline, and I used an extension that was darker at the root, lighter on the ends to blend in with her hair, so if the wind blows, you won't see it.
And what did you do for Atana? Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Atana's hair looks so pretty. What did you do?
Atana has great hair, and she was really concerned that her hair was very thin. Her hair isn't as thin as she thinks it is. If you take a look at her hair, it's very dense at the root, but again, she's also really suffering from a lot of abuse on the ends of her hair and dehydrated hair. So what I did is kept the base of her hair very heavy with a haircut, and then just layered it all the way through lightly on the edges to make the hair look fuller and more voluminous.
Well, thank you guys so much. When we come back, we're going to tell you what's true and what's a tall tale when it comes to hair. There are a lot of misconceptions. We're playing hair fact or fiction. Is that exciting? That's right after this.